Hello! This is Travis with Modern Homemakers. Bet you didn't see me hanging behind this laundry on this clothesline. That's exactly what I'm going to show you how to make as a clothesline. It's a great thing to have in your yard. It'll save you a bunch of money on your electric bill.
Hi, this is Travis with Modern Homemakers. Today I'm going to put in a clothesline. If you are like my wife and you're an environmentally conscious person, you want to heal the world and all that stuff, this is a great thing to do. If you're a little bit more selfish like me and you just want to save money, this is also a good thing to do. I'm exaggerating. I care about the environment too. My wife cares about saving money. But fortunately, a lot of the things that you do to save money also happen to be good for the environment, so this is just one of many examples. Okay, so I bought this pole from a guy locally who builds these. He's retired and he just makes these for fun, so I thought he did a great job, so I bought a couple of them off of him. But the first thing I'm going to do is find the place where I want to put this in the ground, and then we're going to dig a hole. Okay, so we found where we want to start our hole. It's pretty much right on the edge of our backyard, and we're only going to have one pole because we're going to connect this to our shed in our backyard, so that's going to make it a little bit easier. We only have to dig one hole. It's actually my second attempt at doing a clothesline. I built one 2-3 years ago and it was pretty awful. Didn't get an actual clothesline. I built one out of old 2x4s and didn't use any cement or anything. I mean, I just dug it in the ground, and you know, of course, it didn't take long at all for it to fall over. It was pretty cheesy looking, so we tore that down, and I kind of gave up on it for a while, but trying again now. Learned some lessons, and we're going for it. Okay, changed into some grubbier clothes because the work's about to get a little bit messier. You might want to do that yourself. But I got my hole dug, and I bet, you know, there's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of a thing. I mean, I basically dug a hole until I got this down to where, you know, I think it's low enough for us to use, you know, just right above our heads, basically. So you kind of just have to play around with it, you know, just dig and stick it in the hole until it is where you want it to be. That's pretty much it. So next we're going to do the concrete. Okay, so I'm about to put in the concrete mix. Now, depending on what kind of concrete mix you use, you just want to follow the instructions on the bag. It might be different depending on what kind you have. The kind that I have says to put some rocks in, put some gravel in, about 2-3 inches of gravel in the bottom. So that's all I'm doing right now, is I'm just getting some rocks from my driveway. Okay, so I've got my gravel in there, and now I'm going to fill the hole about a third of the way with clean water. There's about a water in, putting in our post. Okay. And then I'm going to start pouring in the concrete mix. This is the kind of concrete mix that you don't have to stir beforehand, you just pour it in. Sometimes you might have to have a separate bucket for the concrete mix, but in this case I don't. Okay, so I've already got concrete mix up to the level of the water. So what I do now is I add some more water and basically just keep adding water and concrete mix until we're up to the level that we need. So as you can see, we're getting closer to the top. Okay, so you want to have a level so that you can make sure this thing is standing up straight. And it's looking pretty good. Alright, cool. Alright, so I got a little bit too much water and I ran out of concrete mix, so what I'm trying to do is just kind of scoop some of this water out. Fortunately, I've got a tree root here that's forming a little dam that's holding the water in, so that's kind of cool.
Watch your mouth!
Okay, we just got done with the concrete. I mean, I just got done with it. Gideon didn't really help, but that's okay, 'cause he's cute. I'm just gonna call it a day basically and let this sit overnight, and I'm gonna come back and finish it tomorrow. Now, depending on how many, this took me a whole bag of concrete mix to do one post. So obviously, if you're gonna do more than one post, you'll need more than one bag of concrete. So we're gonna come back to this tomorrow, and we'll see. You can see already that this has long since been standing up on its own.
Yeah. What was our exact concrete, just for reference here?
This is, gosh, we just had this sitting in our shed. Sacrete, fast setting, high early strength concrete mix. It's just what we had on hand. So anyway, but again, if you're using a different kind of concrete, whatever concrete you're using, please read the instructions and just do what it says.
Okay, so we're back outside. My concrete dried and hardened. What I did, just because this was kind of already in the middle of a big crater, basically, was I took a bunch of large rocks and piled them up around the post, and then I tried to cover it over with dirt as much as possible, just to kind of level it off. This actually dropped off quite a bit more, if you recall. But anyway, it is in there now, and so next we're going to fasten our hooks, basically these things right here. You can get these, I got these at Lowe's, you can probably get them at any hardware store, but we're going to fasten these into the wall of our shed. Now if you've got the kind of clothesline where you've got two posts, and you're going to have to put your other post in first, but we're actually going to attach it to our shed. So okay, so I've got one fastened in the wall here. Now if you've got a really nice shed, you might be really careful how you do this. I don't really care that much because our shed is old and ugly anyway, so I'm not being particularly careful about how I put these in. But what I'm doing is I'm drilling a hole just to get it started, and then we'll put it in there. Take the sticker off. It comes with this kind of annoying little sticker. Get that off there. Okay. Put it in the hole, and if you've got a hole started with your drill, it actually goes in pretty easily. For the most part, I tried doing it without starting a hole, and it was really hard. Now, there's not much to grab a hold of here, so what can help is if you take something like something long and thin like a screwdriver, put that in there, then that helps you to twist it around a lot easier without hurting yourself. And I recommend using a level just to get these holes even. By the way, I forgot to mention that I measured where the hooks are on the posts, and on mine they are 11.5 inches apart. So that's how far apart I'm spacing these on the shed wall. So we got two. So another one. There are 5 altogether. 11.5 inches. It's right about there. I'm not going for perfection. Just trying to get close. And that's pretty level. I'm going to go ahead and make a mark real quick, just so I don't lose my place and get my drill. Alright, so I got a little mark made. I'm not even drilling very far. I'm only going in just, as you can see, my bit is only about like a centimeter long here. I'm just going in a tiny bit. Tiny bit, get it? Oh, tough audience. Okay. So, putting the next one in. Once again, once I've got the hole, it's fairly easy to get started by hand. You want to twist it until it starts to grab, starts to go in, and initially it's pretty easy to screw in, but once it starts to tighten, it really digs into your hand. It starts to hurt a little bit, so that's what we'll get. Screwdriver, pop that in. It's a lot easier. Okay, so there are a couple different ways you could do this. You could cut a rope and just go from here to there, and that'd be it. And have, you know, 5 separate ropes or however many you have. That seems like a lot of work and a lot of cutting and tying and things like that. Seems like it'd be a lot sturdier to just use the same rope and have it going back and forth. So what we're going to try is we're going to take it through, and then we're going to pull it through the other one and then bring it back, and we're just going to go back and forth. Obviously you don't want to let it touch the ground, especially if the ground is particularly muddy like it is today, because you're going to be hanging clean clothes on this thing. But just working it through and then bringing it back. And I'm going to do the same thing on that side and just keep going back and forth until we've got the rope going on all of them. Okay, so when you get to the end, before you cut your rope, you might want to test this out, hang some wet clothing on it, because I think you'll find that even though it looks tight without anything hanging on it, once you start hanging stuff on there, it's going to like really start to sag. So hang some clothing on there first and then try to tighten it, pull it tight before you tie it off and cut your rope.